Thank you, Starcom. Thanks, Judy, for inviting me here to share some of my learnings along the journey I have come along. I guess, is it a lot of any marketer people down there? Okay, I'm not talking about sales. I'm not going to talk about trade. So don't ask me that questions later. Be passionate as a marketer. I think I myself very passionate in marketing and talking about branding communications. So I'm not here to judge about KPI or the success metrics, but I hope you all can dive in the brand journey together with me on how we communicate with our consumer. So I'm a senior brand manager for Manuka Health, looking after Asia, including New Zealand and Australia Eastern Channel. So very interesting when I came on board with Manuka Health because I start knowing that New Zealand and Australia we divide into two channels, Easterns and Westerns. But even though we have a Western consumer, they still Western customers, but they talk to Eastern customer as well. So there's no clear cut of borderlines, which we always argue in the company. Okay, who am I talking to? So I feel stuck. It's like these are all the things in my mind when I first day joined the company, when I get a briefing talking about China Triangle. You know where the China Triangle is? China Triangle, that means China is my main market, New Zealand and Australia will be my market as well, talking to my customers. But everyone at the end of the day, I only talk to one people, who is a Chinese in the mainland. So marketing is not just how it used to be now. I mean, if like from very old school, we know about 4 Ps. And then we are being introduced about 5 Cs. And now we have to throw all this into the oceans because the marketing now actually conquered by the consumer. Even though we are the marketer, we can't decide what we want to talk to the consumer, but they tell you that what you need to talk to them. So this is how the marketing department works these days. So especially in China. So marketing should not belong to the marketer. So now we're not just talking about advertising. It's not just press releases or not just about social media campaign, but it's like how about the consumer connect with each other, engage, and also we've talked about a lot about social media in China, the reviews that they read, and also the user-generated content, which is massive in China as well, and even the influencers. So the success of Little Red Box rates actually tell us about the power of community and trustworthiness in e-commerce. RED encourages participations in the community in order to build brand quality, trustworthy content as well. And by combining this strong community with other tactics that establish its product's credibility, RED actually drive engagement and trust around purchases made on the platform. So it actually brings a very different experience when you go into RED, especially for the fashions and the cosmetic category. So, this is just a snapshot about how China purchasing funnel works. So if some of you have actually attended some China Digital Summit earlier or some of other conferences, we actually talk a lot about China, how China consumers search about your brand, search about your products as well. And a Chinese consumer or Chinese customers actually consider up to 8 touch points before a purchase is actually made. So how this research come out? Actually, until today, even from my McKinsey, they said that the 8 touch point actually expanded to 14. So if you as a marketer, so which touch point you actually need to invest? And China is not cheap. Everything is about money. So discovery, research, validations before the day they do the purchase, you can see that more than 70% of consumers do a lot of research about your product and brand before they buy your product. And this whole journey can take up more to 30 days or even longer. So we actually kind of like do a summary when we try to understand where our consumer is. At the discovery stage and enabling an early consideration set for research and exploration. These are some of the touch points they look into. For example, like maybe they get your brand exposures in NetEase News, Douyin, the Western versions of TikTok, which is very popular right now. This is some of the media channels, short videos, and even point of sales in stores as well. The awareness of a brand, just talking to them, or this brand exists, this brand from New Zealand, this brand from Australia, but they may not know about your product. and then go into the research stage. The research stage is the word of mouth, and they start doing a lot of research. They can ask their family and friends. They look at your WeChat moment. They start looking into Baidu if they do not know about your brand, but they wanted to buy Manuka honey. They start searching Manuka honey in Baidu. And how am I going to compete with my competitor to make sure my brand appear first on the top before them, so that it appear on the top 5 compared to my competitor as well. So, and then they start doing validations. Validation is where all the cost comparisons start coming in. So when I have my product in JD, Tmall, Red, and all other platforms, and even in Taobao as well, and they start doing this kind of comparison, or maybe they will just go to Daigou as well to buy the product. So beside cost is about the trustworthiness as well, whether they trust your platforms, whether they trust your channel. So you can see that they actually really spend a lot of time doing research. So all the three tiers are about research in all these touch points that we are looking at. So the research now is not just on social media platform, not just on search engine. They even do research in e-commerce platforms, because Tmall, Kaola, Red themselves they serve as an e-commerce platform as well. There's a lot of product reviews shared by consumers, buyers, shared by KOL as well. So these are the research that's built in. So we have new terms today called social search optimizations, building on top of SEO and SEM. So the last thing that they'll do is doing purchase, and after they purchase your product, they are the one who start sharing back. And all this sharing will go back to a validation stage or research or discovery, you do know. So the purchasing funnel, they don't appear like in China, it's very complicated. So it doesn't mean that they will start from research, validation and purchase. They probably just go around and around. It's just very much like a personal behavior in terms of buying the products. So this is what I've been saying as well, like what the consumer do in each platforms where the actions take place. So they really spend a lot of time in that. And the post-purchase, where the sharing part is where they show off as well. And this is something the marketers really like to look into, is that we hope that they start showing off their product, showing off what they buy, and we build in some engagement activities inside. So now, understand your consumer, or maybe understand my consumer. To me, China Triangle is very interesting, because maybe at the end of the day, I'm not just talking to my consumer directly. I have to talk to my customers as well. So how I differentiate them? There's some of my customers in this room, which I can see familiar faces. So let's talk about the consumer is my end user, the person who eat my product. Customers probably is my distributors, my customer, my retailer. But so when we do marketing, we actually involve both customers and consumers as well. So Chinese consumers are very disloyal to brands. So you can see a short video just now on talking about their behavior in buying brands and buying things, where they look at what they buy the things for. So they're very disloyal, but these days there's a group called Petit Bourgeoisie, which we call 小资 in China, because they are the most adventurous, they are the first one, they are the pioneer that exposed to new brands and new products. They could be a very minor group, and the other one could be the KOL as well. But actually they built in the purchase, like a consumer behaving cycle. They probably start from your brand, will start from the petite group, and then the KOL will be exposed to the brand as well. And from the KOL, it exposed to the mass consumer. So this is how the consumer purchasing behavior cycle begins with, from the petite to the exposed and followed by KOL, and then accepted by the mass consumer. Because we're talking about billions of consumers in China. So who you want to talk to, that's come the importance of the KOLs as well. So before I dive into that, these are some of the basics that we are trying to start on to build our Manuka Health brand stories. So Manuka Health is a bee products leaders in the industry. We only do bee products. We're the bee product specialists. We were founded in 2006, and we have adopted our own rating system, MGO, which is different. Is our very unique rating system that we co-research with Germany professor, Professor Henley. So from hive to home is what we wanted to tell our consumer, that we have this quality brand that they should come and approach us. We're available in more than 45 countries. We are natural bee products company, and we have NGO for Manuka honey, we have Bio30s for propolis, and our products are only produced and packed in New Zealand. Snapshots and distributions in all the leading retailers worldwide on what we do. And of course in China, we are in JD, we are in Tmall, we are in Red as well, Taobao, and we try to go in all the channels, but that actually lead to another competitions within the brand. So why choose Manuka Health? So these are some of the contents that we're trying to build it in, because we are the trusted global Manuka expert. We talk about our quality, our purity, our authenticity. We talk about how we nurture our product from hive to home, and we talk about what is our care and expertise for our bees and our products as well. And then come with our research, and we start develop new range of products from Manuka honey, limited edition single origin, to new packs of lozenges, to Bio30 propolis, and also we have a lot of this year we start introducing our premium NGO range as well. So what this means to us? This means to us last year is one of our big year, because it was our first year after we founded in 2006. It's our first year that we started with a celebrity ambassadors that we campaign in China. So our marketing play last year, if some of our customers may know about it, is that we're trying to be in a strong brand positions from September for mid-autumn and our Double 11 sales as well. So with targeting that objective, we have a campaign activations during mid-autumn with a very big media event in Shanghai. And then from there, we have a content pool into a PR for the earned media. We also paid media as well. And we have a celebrity endorsement. The celebrity name is Alisa Cha. And we also have content development, leverage on PR and media, community seedings, which we're very familiar with, product seedings, and also product placement. Everything happened at the same time for 6 months. It's much more than engagement with my customers, that we hope our customer can share our brand story with their consumer, with their customers as well. Because we can't neglect that they are one of our most important people that we need to work with. She's Alisa Cha. She's a Taiwanese celebrity that we actually have her with us to talk about our brand. So she's the content pool, the content base for us to build the whole brand stories for our 2018 marketing play. So what is a content pillar? Our powerful Manuka honey is premium and consists of high efficacies, perfect for people who live a natural and healthy lifestyle. So what that means to the consumer when it means so much for a brand. So by consuming Manuka honey to unleash their maximum potential and achieve goals in life, and this is how we actually build from the brand, which is our rule. And we are trying to tell the people that by eating Manuka Health Manuka honey is a high-performing honey for high-performing people. We are using Alisa Cha as a character of a super mom, building into our brand story and start feeding into all the different pillars. So all these different pillars can represent the types of the content your brands want to talk to your consumer. The pillars can define the benefit of the products. The pillars can define the lifestyle of your product. The pillars can define what is the gift, the travel part, the leisure part. So the pillar actually can build on either on the product informations, or you want to build on the categories of the KOL where you try to do your product seedings as well. So it's very much up to the brand on what we do. So we're not just having 4, we actually have a lot when we do that building our brand pillar, because we work across with a lot of KOL last year, building up on our celebrity to fit in the content through different channels. So this is some of the content creations that we have, starting from the media event in Shanghai, where she come a signing ceremony, and we have media interview on the spot, and we have 5 live broadcasts in different channels that time. Like in Douyu, which is they have an exclusive interview. We have live broadcasts in Weibo as well, and we even have KOL to do live broadcasts at Tmall at the same time just to talk about this media event. And from that day when we start launching the media event, we start feeding through into the content through different categories of KOL. KOL in WeChat, KOL in Reds as well. Depending on the nature of the KOL, that's where the content pillars start feeding in to fit in different products. from our premium Manuka honey all the way to propolis and even lozenges as well. And if the KOL is a mother, we would like her to talk about the benefit of the product that she used for the families and the children. If the KOL is a traveler, we'll tell them that when you go to New Zealand, the must buy is a Manuka Health, Manuka honey. So this is a very personalized kind of like content when you work with different groups of KOL at that point of time. So there are some learnings from the influencers marketing that we did last year, especially for myself. It's such a big learning when we do this kind of investment, is that because KOLs are not professional medias, they may not write a stories that in your favor. And not KOL, that means that when you pay to them, they will write every single word that you tell them that you must write this. Sorry, that's not the way that they work as well. Because when you work with different tier of KOLs, they will have their way to write their own stories. You just give them key pointers. And they come up with a story when it's not in your favor, we're just like, okay, that's it, close, no full stop, no comment given after. Challenges in managing the consistency of messaging in various posts as well, because some people, for example, they will talk about Manuka honey is good for the stomach, and then someone just start coming saying that, oh, it's good for your lung improve, as well as like, oh, that's wrong. Not sure where they got the information with, but it's probably a bit too late. It's very challenging when you manage like more than thousands of KOLs when they want to put up the post at the same times. And another challenges that I learned is the authentic yet engaging content, but not advertisement. Because when we engage with the KOL, we want them to talk about their genuine experience, because we send them the product, it's like their experience. We don't want them to hard sell our product and it looks very fake in a way. So to have that balance in between when they build their stories on our key points that we give it to them, we still want them to have a natures, their own experience that built into the stories as well. So KOL also shift from being paid to post to selling direct to followers. That's what we learned, because some of the KOL, they themselves they could be a daigou if you want to use that term, or they themselves, they have their own platform to sell the products to. So it's a very it's not challenging, but it's like when you filter through which KOL they work with, recommendations from the agency like Stylecom, then you have to select very smart and carefully which KOL that we want to go to as well. And the measurement of performance are criticals over here, and it is very hard. We actually kind of like lost in terms of the measurements of how this KOL bring the benefit into our sales, because there's no direct data conversions where the salespeople will start shouting at you, sorry, I don't see how the red KOLs can do sales for us, because there's no bridge in between, if everyone knows. Because even those red KOLs try to build the brand awareness for you, you just can't have a Tmall link there, for example. So you don't see the sales conversions directly from the back-end data as well. So some learning from product seedings when we start looking at different platforms. We have a very interesting discussion within the team when we kind of like talking about how important Weibo is versus Red. When Red has a much more exposure to the younger generations, Weibo still have the biggest data saying talking about the awareness and for the discoveries and the research stage as well. So 50% of a Weibo KOL are key influencers talking about lifestyle experience. Compared to other categories, the lifestyle actually contributed the higher readings and the awareness and the reach out as compared to other platforms. But if you look into Red is the engagement level is very high. So even the KOL followers could be lower than a Weibo KOL. The engagement talking about comments, talking about your products, they like the post, actually is higher than a Weibo KOL. And we also do seedings in WeChat as well. So WeChat is very different in a way because WeChat KOL tends to write long stories. When Weibo is similar to Facebook when they have 9 pictures with a short paragraph, WeChat KOL will write a whole long stories about it. So there's some consideration factors in seeding plans when we look into this. Some learning from Manuka Health like way forward is that the outreach and awareness versus the influence of purchasing power. The budget allocations that you have as well, because some KOL is really not cheap, and also the potential to build in for our SEO and SSO in future. That's what I say. So with a limited budget most of the New Zealand brands have, we always have this sales and a marketing war. It's not really a war, but it's the challenge is to balance the sales activations versus the brand building part. So we have to look back into the panel to find the data to support what we need to do, whether we need to invest more in the brand building or we should do the sales activation so that we can see the sales number to come in at that point of time. So what is your short-term goal? What is the cost effectiveness investment for long-term building? The investment in research channel, how this will build in for 6 months or maybe like 1 year as well. And it's all about teamwork in the give and take as well. There's no conclusions. I won't have a conclusions whether marketing is more important or sales because they are both very important. When marketing is a back-end support to have the brand build a very strong brand support, a base of foundations, when the sales team out there can do to sell your product and the brand at the same time as well. So before I almost finish, some key learnings. Consumer awareness is in China is king. No single channels actually no single channels excel in China. You can't just invest in Red, for example, because not everyone go to Red. You can see some of the short videos like the research. People will go to TikTok as well. So you probably need to have some short video in the TikTok at this moment, while Red still be a good product seeding platforms. Brand authority, how to manage the consistent messaging across all touch points that you invest in. And also influencer marketing, no longer an option, but an essential in China, at least until today. And also the importance of the SEO, SSO, and the ESO. ESO is e-commerce social optimizations on how this built in for your long-term brand building. So before I end the slide, keeping up the trend, I would like to show you something. So how am I going to play that video?
Oops, my baby, you woke up in the bed. Oops, we broke up, we played on as friends. Now I accidentally need you, I don't know what to do. Oops, baby, I love you. It's time with myself with.
This is our latest short video in TikTok talking about our 5 gram snack pack. I have 2 versions, one version for China when you see a China local packaging there, and a version without the China packaging that used for my New Zealand and Australia customers. So that at least one video is fit the China triangle and keeping up the trend to build the brand awareness for our brand. Enjoy your snack pack. Thank you.